From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast with Scott Sander.
Welcome to the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast. I'm Scott Sander. On this episode,
a new mixed-use development project promising to open business opportunities in Plainfield. Emil Ekiyor previews the upcoming INNOPower Minority Business Week and find out about the new Airfield Surveillance System recently installed at Indianapolis International Airport.
Every business is unique and has a target audience. If you own or manage a business, Circulus Digital Media can help you connect and grow your customer base with turnkey digital solutions that are nimble, offering best-in-class results, service, and support to reach a bigger customer base, allowing you to pinpoint a specific audience down to the smallest details. Get outside the city, the state, span the globe. Put Circulus Digital Media to work for you. Get started now at circulusdigital.com. That's circulusdigital.com.
Let's get started with a look at a new mixed-use development project promising to open business opportunities in Plainfield. It's called Hobbs Station. Local developer Isaac Bamboge has played a leading role in some of Central Indiana's most innovative projects already. We talked to him about this new 125-plus acre development and the way it could drive economic growth in the area.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Getting started.
My name is Isaac Bamboge. I'm founder and CEO of UC Development Partners. We are a commercial real estate development company based here in Indianapolis and specialize in a combination of different types of mixed-use development. And all that really means is a combination of whether it's residential, retail, office, industrial. We kind of look at a number of those different types of uses and look for the right way to bring those together to make compelling and transformative types of projects across the state. I think it's the way community is meant to be. Communities are not meant to be monolithic, right? They're not meant to be one thing. Just by nature of being a community, you have all these different things coming together. And I think over the course of just kind of suburban sprawl and efficiency, things became one-dimensional in that way for, many decades, kind of starting in the 60s and moving into the 80s and 90s and everything. And so I think there's been a coming back to what was truly meant to be as you think about what communities are supposed to be from a, activity and commerce happening in close proximity to where people live. So, you're not always having to get into the car to go to, fill in the blank, get a haircut, get some coffee, all of those things that we need to do as part of life, go to the grocery store, right? And those things coming together really increase the standard of living for people, and I think people like that. They're experiencing that this is actually nice, and we do want this, and not just in the urban core. Typically it's been you get that just in the urban core. Now you're seeing that proliferate in other parts of the community or city, state, Donut County of Indiana in particular here. So it's one of those where there's a lot of desire for it because people see the benefit of it, but it's harder than it looks to create. I like to say that when it comes to mixed-use development, the best mixed-use developments are in places where people want those developments to be. So for us, we really look for communities that want to partner with us as a developer and not have an adversarial relationship. Are there, competing interests, as is the case in any sort of, relationship or partnership? Absolutely. But at the same time, we try to find where we have alignment and where there are shared priorities. And so in that regard, looking across, again, the kind of donut counties of Indianapolis metro area, Plainfield really rose to the top. Plainfield has seen a lot of growth in recent years, really driven by the industrial kind of engine over there with the airport. And so you've had a lot of jobs that have led to more housing, and they have really done a great job from a municipal leadership standpoint in terms terms of being able to foster an environment that, all those things can work together in the same sort of place. So we saw that as all of the right sort of check boxes, or Plainfield checked all these different boxes that were important to us when we think about our type and style of development, and thinking about, the sustainability of that development long term, because we're not just thinking about the quick flip, in and out. This is something that we want to see stand that test of time. The project is called Hobbs Station, and that name even has relevance when it comes to the history as it relates to that site. We had some folks really dig into the history books and look at what happened in that area. So we sit alongside a trail that used to be a rail line. It was called the Vandalia rail line, and there was a train station right there, kind of where the site was. And then there was also this massive nursery. It was called the Hobbs Nursery. And so looking at all of those things and triangulating the location of the site, what we just looked at it when we were buying the site is just, 125 acres of farmland actually had all of this rich history. And so, in uncovering that, we want to bring that to life. And one of the things that, we were pretty adamant about with regards to this development, in saying that, okay, how do we transform this 125 acres into, what you see today, which, has all of these different things thematically, was about how do we create a multi-generational, development and multi-generational communities. So that's what we have. We have apartments, we have retail, we have restaurants, we have senior housing, we have townhomes, we have over 200 single-family homes. There's even some industrial as well. So all of that, kind of jam-packed with a number of different amenities. Public park, again, built over 2,000 feet worth of trail as part of a larger 2-mile trail expansion that we partnered with the city and state on. So all of those things kind of happening, and I failed to mention office as well, right? And working with the town and municipality on bringing all of that together in this project. Most of the folks that are working on this project and will work on this project, again, something of this scale and magnitude will take many years to build and deliver, but again, certain pieces will happen faster than others, which is what's the case here. We have the apartments going right now, the single family is going right now, the senior housing is going right now. So there's a big chunk of it that's happening right now, and whether it's the contractors, whether it's the different brands that go in, whether it's the artists, whether it's the kind of technicians that are doing some of the work, we really try to focus on curating that talent from here in Indiana. I'd have to go back to my team and ask what the percentage is, but it's really high. Probably somewhere in that 90% range is local. There's so many aspects of it that I really enjoy and love, whether it's the architecture, right, and being able to, again, take something that's just greenfield and turn it into something beautiful that folks can, spend time really taking in. Or, we talk about the impact, right? Being able to see people enjoy what's actually in there, right? Whether we're talking about the restaurants or the shops or actually living there. So I think there's so many aspects that I really enjoy about bringing these things together. But it probably, if I had to pick one, it would be that impact, right? And even being with friends sometimes, or being in certain rooms and hearing people talk about these projects, and you hear how they talk about it, and you get these little tidbits, and they have no idea, that you were involved or vision behind it, but you can see that it's something that's impacting them in a positive way, and there's nothing better than that for me.
Construction on Hobbs Station started back February 2023. Several phases are well underway. The economic impact may be significant. Developers say construction alone is creating 1,000 or more jobs, with 1,500 permanent jobs possible once the project's done. As the media partner for this year's Rally Innovation Conference and INNOPower's Minority Business Week, we pledge to keep you informed about the opportunities coming up in August through them. This week, Emil Ekiyor shows new information about who will attend and what they're doing to make it more affordable to attend for Indiana small business owners and students.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Access to capital.
We've had our INNOPower Minority Business Week for 5 years now, and it's been unbelievable. We've grown so much, have a lot of followers. This year we decided to partner with Elevate Ventures with the Raleigh Conference. Christopher Day, CEO of Elevate, just has a great vision for what Elevate is building in Indiana and the innovation economy. But we wanted to make sure that all Hoosiers get a chance to feel the energy around the innovation economy. So our partnership with our audience now coming into Raleigh, we just think we've created a very, very unique space in Indiana as far as the innovation economy and the opportunities that come in the innovation economy. A big part of it is we are all betting on Indiana. So how do we bring people from all over the world to come into our city here in Indianapolis to see what we're building, but also to share ideas with us on what has happened in different areas of the world, how we can learn from those things and implement those things here. So we have Senator Roches Okorocha, who is a former senator from Nigeria, wealthy businessman, wonderful business owner, has the Roches Foundation, supports over 40,000 students. We have Denham Richards, who is an actor with a world-renowned Yellowstone, also an entrepreneur, does business all over the world, coming here. Shayna Barkley and Willa Koof. Willa Koof is from Nashville with Corner to Corner. They support over 1,000 businesses in Nashville, created a wonderful environment in Nashville. They're coming here to talk about what they've created from an ecosystem standpoint. So everything from ecosystem building, access to capital, deploying capital, making sure that your economy is inclusive so your region and your state could be more prosperous, are things that we want to address at the conference. So we're just honored to be in this space. We love the partnership with Elevate Ventures. We love the vision of Elevate Ventures. We love the energy in Indiana today, and we're just doubling down on that energy. That's the reason why we want to create access. If you're a small business owner, if you're a mid-sized business owner, if you are been in business for 10 years, you need to be in this space. Last year at Raleigh, there were over 8,000 people in town. Magic Johnson, there were hundreds and hundreds of deals cut. So if I'm a small business owner, I want to meet people, I want to share my story, I want to learn from people, but you never know who you will run into. You never know who your story will resonate with, and they want to work with you. So we want to create that access to make sure that when you come into that space, you come in there because you're hungry as a business owner, you want to be heard, you want to learn, and that is the space to be if that's the kind of business owner you are. One of the things that we've done in partnership with Raleigh and our sponsors, including Circuit City Broadcast and BE&O Show, is we wanted to make sure that we create access for everybody. And we didn't want cost to be a barrier to access. So we reduced the price for business owners who just need some help. You know, you're working hard and you may not be able to pay the full price. We want you in that space, and you know, we have an access code we have that we're sharing with business owners, really for business owners from all around Indiana. To say, if you want to come, if you're a minority business owner, everything under the umbrella of minority, and you want to be in that space, we don't want cost to be a barrier for you. So we're working with Circuit City Broadcasting and the BE&O Show to educate business owners about the opportunity and engage them about the discount we have for them. And we're so thankful that our sponsors, Elevate Ventures, have all worked with us to say, let's do that, let's create access. So we want over 400 business owners to take advantage of this discount and come into that space. So if you're a minority business owner, you're doing business in Indiana, you're working hard, you may not be able to pay full price, you just need a little bit of help to get into Raleigh, please go on the BE&O website, look at the discount code, and we want you in that space. The number one thing is this: if you are a company today, if you're in business today, you are going to use technology. No doubt. You have to if you want to grow your business, if you want to be efficient. So the innovation economy in Indy is growing at a rapid rate. And we want every business owner to be plugged in. We want business owners to understand how do they leverage technology to accelerate their business growth, to start their business. And if you're not thinking in that way, we want you thinking in that way. So after the conference, we have different opportunities. We partner with BE&O Show and Wish TV. We partner with the Indianapolis Recorder, all entities, to have events, gatherings, right, to educate and engage business owners. So we want that energy to continue. But we want you to know that you are part of the innovation economy. We want you to see opportunity in the innovation economy where you plug in and how you leverage that to grow your business. So our Indy BizPass was so proud of that. A big part of that is just the ecosystem. Resources are available and how business owners connect to those resources. But we are also leveraging technology to do that. We couldn't do that by just having a bunch of meetings, but having a virtual ecosystem, leveraging a local tech company with meta impact, and to implement that in our city makes our city so unique. So we are also practicing what we preach by leveraging technology to be more efficient in what we do as a business.
Time for running your business day to day, which, as you grow, may go from running down the street to a supplier or a vendor to running across the country or maybe around the world. Inevitably, that'll take you to the airport. And some exciting things are happening at Indianapolis International Airport through the FAA. Let's make welcome Michael Emanuel, who's a project manager at something very exciting, Surface Awareness Initiative. What is that?
Well, thanks. I appreciate the opportunity. What we're trying to do with the Surface Awareness Initiative, or what we just call SAI for short, is to increase runway safety across the national airspace system. Within the media over the past couple of months, there have been multiple reports of what we call runway incursions, encounters between aircraft on the same airport surface. And with the SAI program, we're providing air traffic controllers additional situational awareness of the aircraft and vehicles on the airport surface to increase the safety margins and help them provide safe separation services to aircraft on the ground.
Through the magic of this wonderful technological world, your backdrop, you're not actually in a tower right now, but you look like you are. And as it happens, you've found ours. You're virtually in the Indianapolis Tower right now.
I am virtually at Indy Tower right now. Over my shoulder is one of the displays that we installed for air traffic controllers. It's a background map of all the runways and the taxiways and ramp areas. And as the aircraft arrive, depart, and taxi into position, this map will indicate to the controllers the movement of their aircraft. So as they are scanning out the window in communications with the air traffic and looking at their radar scopes, this is an additional tool that will enable them to have greater awareness. Particularly useful at night when it's cloudy, foggy, rainy, and you don't really have that great crystal clear vision out the window. This enhances that.
You know, when you watch the movies, the air traffic controllers, it's all the focus up in the air, but the groundwork is critical too, correct?
Air travel begins and ends on the ground.
Yeah.
And so surface safety is equally important as safety aloft.
But how did Indianapolis get into this? Because very few airports are implementing this technology right away, correct?
Today, there are only 44 airports in the national airspace system that have surface surveillance capabilities. Those are your Chicagos and your Dallases, your Atlantas. But there's a need for this capability across the country. And so with the SAI program, we are deploying that capability to airports like Indy and Nashville and Austin and Dallas Love Field, our first 4 airports. But we are actively working to expand and deploy to others. We have another 14 that we're targeting with an additional 35 after that. Based on an operational need analysis that we conducted internal to the FAA and said, we need surface safety more than just at the current airports that have it, as capacity and demand and air traffic at these other airports, such as Indianapolis, grows.
Is the technology the same that's been in place at the Chicagos and whatnot, or is this different in any way?
It's a little bit different, but what is unique about it, particularly from the FAA, we are leveraging commercially available software and equipment that we are applying to this application. We partnered with 3 vendors. We established what we call a qualified product list, and those vendors are now engaged with us to get task orders awarded to deploy to additional airports. So it is different technology, but it's capabilities that exist in the marketplace today. And what's really slick about this approach, because it's commercially available software and equipment, our vendors have 90 days from task order award to have their solution operational, which anyone who tracks FAA acquisitions, that is unheard of. So we awarded our first 4 airports on April 1st, April Fool's Day, and all 4 were operational, including Indianapolis, on June 30th. So if you're flying in and out of Indianapolis today, those air traffic controllers are utilizing this capability, and they've only had it now for a little over 2 weeks.
Longtime viewers of our broadcast likely had their ears perk up during that, because it was a really good example of a public-private partnership and the opportunities available to small businesses. This is a real-world realization of that.
Absolutely. And our vendors are sort of the non-traditional major prime integrators that you think of when it comes to government contracts. And this, what we call competitive marketplace, because from an FAA perspective, with multiple vendors, they're incentivized to continue to provide us the best service at the best price. But we also have very limited definition around our performance requirements, which allows us to cast a broader and wider net. And we hope to continue to evolve, again, our qualified product list to include additional vendors once their capabilities are sufficiently mature.
Fewer limits may spur a little bit more imagination. That's a really interesting tack to take. As we ask you a final question, is there something about Indianapolis International that tends to be a good testing ground for this? For example, Indianapolis was one of the first to get a new kind of technology at the security checkpoints, and it's still very different than what's in most other places. I know that's not your project. This one is, but why do things come to our airport before they come other places occasionally?
One of the things as a project manager that I look for, in addition to, the right amount of traffic and the right operational environment, the people, particularly the air traffic controllers and the technical operations teams at the tower are very accommodating, super gracious, and welcoming. The other feature that is helpful, particularly for installations and work that we do with the major FedEx presence that is at Indianapolis, a lot of the traffic flows are actually greater at night, which allows us to do our job during the day, because usually when we do installations in a control tower, we do it during the night shift when traffic isn't so great. So for us, we get to do some day shift work as opposed to pulling mids. So it's generally a host of factors, depending on what type of technology you're looking to deploy. If you're deploying a weather system, right, that detects, snow, right, you want to go in a cold weather environment. For us, with the traffic, with the runway geometry, and again, with the operations that you all have, in addition to the need, Indy was the right fit.
Who's your hospitality and some variable weather? Okay, those are some good things that we can lean into around here. Straight from a project manager, some really good words of wisdom, not just for business owners who might be flying through the airport, but interested in getting governmental work as well. Michael Emanuel, thank you.
My pleasure.
Our thanks again to all the contributors who joined us for this episode of the Business Equity and Opportunities podcast. We hope you found it enlightening, useful, and inspiring. You'll find more information about the show on our website, BEOshow.com. You can watch Business Equity and Opportunities Sunday mornings at 10 on Wish TV or live stream it through wishtv.com. Each week we provide 7 full segments with topics ranging from how to get started and how to access capital to the day-to-day running of your business and questions about accounting and bookkeeping. We feature business news and trends and always share a success story from one of our contributors. Join us next time for more insights into the world of small business. Be sure to sign up for our Business Equity and Opportunities newsletter to get even more valuable, up-to-date information. And if you have any questions or you'd like to be part of our show, please email us. The address is beo@wishtv.com. We'd love to hear from you. I'm Scott Sander. Thanks for listening.
Watch the Business Equity and Opportunity Show on Wish TV and access all of our content and share it on demand anytime at BEOshow.com. You can find more podcasts from Wish TV on the All Indiana Podcast Network at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.